What? Hello? Is someone there? Okay, I could just be tripping. Anyway, excuse me. Hello. Shut up, phone. My name is Lily. And there are parts of my life that I don't really remember living. Not vaguely, not kind of fuzzy, but like completely gone. I'll look down at the time, and what felt like minutes at most was actually hours. Sometimes even days. And I have no memory of what happened in between. Before I go any further, I just wanted to give a quick heads up. Okay, in this video, I'm going to be talking about only my experience with dissociative identity disorder, including things like memory loss, emotional distress, and even brief mentions of suicidal thoughts, because I don't want to get canceled for saying the word, because apparently that's a thing. Nothing is described in a graphic way, but some of it can be heavy. So please take care of yourself while watching. It's completely okay to pause, skip, or just come back to this later if you need to. With that said, hello. I am Lily, and I live with dissociative identity disorder. And I want to talk about what that looks like for me specifically from my perspective, because DID isn't just feeling like different people. It involves dissociation, amnesia, and different parts of the self that hold different experiences, emotions, roles, and in those parts can take they can take executive control, meaning they act, speak, and interact with the world while I'm not present. And for me, for as far as I know, for me, that's one of the hardest parts. In my previous video, I guess I think it was like Aurora or something, which she was like talking about like surface level stuff, Like, not the deep and nitty-gritty of the amnesic part. Sorry, I keep feeling weird. I don't know what's going on. No, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to freak out. Anyway, one of the core symptoms I experience is the amnesia part, which I guess is called, like, what did she say? It's like dissociative amnesia, I think it's called. Like, that makes the most sense, because it's like the dissociation thing. And it doesn't always feel dramatic when it starts. Sometimes it begins with disconnection. Like, I'm not fully there, which I'm kind of feeling a little bit right now, which is kind of worrisome. My thoughts feel distant, like I'm slightly removed from what's happening around me, and then that disconnection deepens. And later, there's a gap. I'll check the time and realize hours have passed, or I'll realize it's a different day with absolutely no memory of what happened in between. During that time, another part of my system, I guess, may have been fronting, continuing life, interacting, making decisions, sometimes poor ones, but I don't have access to those memories. So I come back and try to piece things together from messages, from what people tell me, from context, but it doesn't feel like remembering. And for me, that amnesia isn't just recent. I really don't have a single autobiographical memory from before the age of 12. Not one. No childhood memories that feel like mine. Everything I know about that time comes from other people, and or from, like, the understanding that other parts may hold those experiences. So my sense of self, where I begin, doesn't really line up with when my life actually started, and that disconnect, it's really hard to sit with. Within DID, different parts can feel or just carry different emotions. and different experiences. Some parts in my system carry anger, often tied to things I don't consciously remember. They don't front often, but when they do, that anger can come through in how they respond to people, and I'm not there for that. So I don't experience the moment, but I do experience what comes after the fact. Being told what was said, seeing how it affected the people I love, and having to take responsibility for actions that happened while I was dissociated. That's one of the hardest parts. God damn it. I just did my makeup. Because even without memory, accountability still matters. And the guilt, it comes from knowing the impact without having access to what led to it. Emotionally, what I experience can shift depending on what parts are influencing or fronting. There are times where I feel intense sadness, self-hatred, worthlessness. And in those moments, it doesn't just feel temporary, it feels real. There have also been times where that includes suicidal thoughts. Thankfully, I don't act on them anymore, but they can still be present. And navigating that while also trying to understand where those feelings are coming from is exhausting. I also experience trauma-related flashbacks. And with DID, those can be connected to parts that hold traumatic experiences. So when something triggers that, it doesn't feel just like remembering. It feels like being dragged, not pulled, dragged into that emotional and physical state. My body reacts immediately. My sense of safety drops. And I have to actively ground myself back into the present so intensely. In those moments, I rely so much on my fiance to help me stay oriented, to remind me that I'm safe now, which is kind of hard to accept even now, but I know that I am and that I should feel like I am, but there's just still so much to work on. this doesn't just affect me as one part myself, it affects the entire thing. It can be differences in awareness, communication, and emotional responses. And when communication breaks down or switches happen unexpectedly, it can create a lot of instability internally, externally, just all of the above. And trying to manage that while living a daily life is complicated, to say it lightly, in ways that aren't always visible. Being professionally diagnosed gave me, I guess, clarity, but it also meant accepting that this is something I have to learn to live with. And that process has taken some time. Learning how to understand whatever's going on, how to communicate, how to build stability, whatever that might look like, not by getting rid of parts, but by learning how to function safely with them. Just focus. And that's why therapy with a licensed trauma-informed professional is so important, because DID isn't something you should try to navigate alone. Therapy helps with grounding, communication between parts, promising safely and processing trauma safely, and reducing harm. It's not quick, it's not easy, but it matters. And if you're struggling, please don't give up on yourself. You deserve support, stability. You deserve a life that feels safer to live in. And so do we, I guess. Anyway, thank you for listening to my skewed experience. If this helped you feel less alone or gave you a better understanding, that means a lot. You're not broken, you're not alone, and there is a way forward with the right support. I gotta go. I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Have a good one.